Hello and welcome to the first ever I'd Watch That. It's been a long time coming, and so thank you for being there, for you people who are there. Thank you to Batters for the subscription straight away. What a start, a subscription within the first minute of the stream, which is pretty impressive. So I've been talking about this for about a year. I'm fully aware of that. If you don't know what this is, oh, by the way, I've set all this up again. So if you can't hear me, if you can't see me, if you can't hear our guest, or if you can't see our guest, let me know, because there is a chance I have totally fucked it. So just let me know. That is key. I just picked my nose. The guest, I can hear the guest. I don't think you can. I picked my nose and he told me that I did, because he's like that. That's the kind of person he is. You'll learn that. The idea of this show is I got someone, I was going to say I did it, but I got Tom Barrett, the brilliant comedian and clever man, to build a randomiser. And with that randomiser, he input the broken up words from the top 100 films from IMDB. So, for example, the first time I ever did this on stage, the first two words that were pulled at random were the ass from Kick-Ass and the blood from First Blood. So the first film that was ever made, it was Arse Blood. And the idea of this show is going to be myself and a guest will randomise some films, 6 films, I think, and we will talk about those films individually. We will maybe give them a budget. We will maybe talk about who's in them. And, we'll see what happens. I want you to join in as well. The more, the merrier. If you've got anything that you think it might be, if you disagree with what we're saying, just get in touch. Also, I want to say hello to the people who are listening on the podcast. It's a podcast. And I'm going to introduce your guest now, because his brow is furrowing. The more I talk, and he's like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, it turns out. He's like, nah. So we're going to bring him on now. It's a pleasure and a privilege to introduce this first guest, because not only is he one of the finest stand-up comedians in the known world, he's also a kind-hearted man, a loving father, a lover to some, and a much more gentle-hearted man than you might. I'm just going to bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to I'd Watch That, my first ever guest is little Jussie Peanuts. Justin Peanuts, how are you?
Yeah, all right, mate. How are you? I don't know what is going on. That was like watching. I don't know what that was like.
Well,
watching, I watched it.
It was me panicking, really, making sure.
No, it wasn't you panicking. It was like if they sort of like present the school.
Oh, was I like that? Was it that good? I should have been holding. Oh,
yeah.
I need a little sticker for there that says I'd watch that. Like they have on like if they're doing TV and they shuffle their papers like this. I'll get some of them.
Oh, like Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues video.
Not quite that. What I mean is more like, and we're joined today by a great comedian and friend of mine.
Oh, come on.
It's Justin Panks.
No, it's good to be here, mate. I'm very honoured to be your inaugural guinea pig.
Who else was I going to ask? There's no one else it could start with other than you, is there?
I'm going to probably end up doing this more than once.
It's going to be weekly.
That's how the other thing happened, wasn't it?
The new Pranks of Faith, ladies and gentlemen.
You get all the money.
Right, so let me know if you can hear Justin. That is key. So we got Skunkabell says, hey people. Hello, Skunkabell. Justin, I should point out as well, I am really shit at reading comments. I'm shit at reading the names. I'm shit at reading what they say. I'll sometimes read them out of order. I sometimes don't see them. I sometimes forget to press the buttons to change the screen properly. And so apologies in advance for that. Pick my nose again. Sam the King says we're in the future. I don't know why he said that. Raven Elf says hi, Skunkabell. So that wasn't even to us. I'm reading out things where they're talking amongst themselves now.
Yeah, don't do that. That's eavesdropping.
And I'll leave that one then. Really Minty says he's a gentleman and a scholar. I should have said that instead of he's a caring lover, really, shouldn't I?
No. I prefer what you went with.
Sam the King says that the evil has landed. That's Sam from
Evil?
The evil has landed. He says the eagle has landed, and I don't know if that's a little swipe at your eaglet nose.
Yeah.
I'm going to scratch my nose.
And brow. I look like an angry bird.
From the game?
Yeah. I'm not that. I am quite. Yeah, but I'm an apex predator.
And what are your fingernails like? Have you got talons?
I've got many talons. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Those hands remind me of, you know, when you see someone that's got engaged on Facebook and they go, and they've got a picture and they're like, he's finally asked the question.
Hey, look, I'm going to do that virtual thing. We're going to do the make a minky thing.
Oh, it does look like that.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Sam says, fuck the budget off. No. We can hear, says Batters. Thank you, Batters. And someone has asked if Janice is here. Who knows?
Who knows?
Spyro the Warrior DM, evening all. Raven Elf has done 2 little emojis. And
right, is this Twitch?
This
is what you do?
This is like Twitch. This is it.
It's like you might as well just get a pager. I feel like this is like we're just reading a pager.
Yeah. I want you go engage. I want to engage with them and build them up. The more people that talk,
you just said that.
The more people that the more they talk, the less we have to do. It's like being an MC. Skunkerbell says, "I am Janice, you idiot." So
I don't believe you.
But I think Yanis there goes quite harsh with the "I am Yanis, you idiot." Calm down, mate.
He's changed, hasn't he?
He has changed. Batter says, "Is this going to be weekly?" Skunkerbell says, "I hope it'll be daily." I don't know. It's going to be definitely bi-weekly, and then we'll see what happens. We've got some good guests coming up.
All right, mate.
I haven't booked any.
Oh.
Did you think I was like, don't worry about it, guys?
I've got some good ones coming up.
I know we got Justin today, but just stay with me. This is going to be fine. And then Sam the King says, what a spin-off called I'm Wank to That. Don't know what that means, Sam. You're going to have to work out how to type.
He means I'd wank to that, doesn't he?
Oh, does he? Well, you're so in tune with him, aren't you? So before we start, Justin, let's understand. Let's learn a little bit about you and your film needs, wants, and desires. Because I've known you now for up to a year. It's got to be a year, isn't it, that we've been...
What, in real terms?
What, in terms of the time we spent together?
Yeah, not quite a year.
I reckon it's more than that. We've been podcasting for 7 years now. We've been gigging together for a decade.
Not together.
We gigged together.
When I haven't got a good gig, I'll do one with you.
We're meant to be gigging on Friday. You pulled out, so you've proved that point. Absolutely proved that point.
Nailed it. Gonna just mix it up with this, so you can't edit me bad.
I'm definitely not going to edit this. This is fine.
I know you're not.
For the listening public, Justin put on a hat back to front.
Oh, no, everyone's watching it.
Everyone's watching it, but it's also going to be a podcast.
Oh, I should put a hat on, guys.
Yeah, I should remember that's going to be the case.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that.
Justin, what films? There's an alarm literally going off somewhere. What's your favourite film? What kind of films are you into? I know that you hate film, but you are a trained actor.
1 second. What's that noise?
There was an alarm, see?
I can hear that.
It's going mad. There's a light come on.
It's getting sorted. This is live. That's how I talk to my people.
That was good. I like that.
Like old King Cole. What did you ask me?
What kind of films do you like? This is about films, and I'm wondering, like, what are you hoping for? What kind of films do you like? What's your favourite film, for example?
I like weird films. I like pretentious films. If you looked at my films on paper, I wouldn't like me.
Really?
What's that fucking... I don't know what that is. I've never heard that before.
I can't hear it now.
Richard Clayderman's just come in for the older listeners.
Who's Richard Clayderman?
He was like our Liberace.
Oh, really? Norwich's Liberace?
Yeah. No, not Norwich's. I think he was from the north. Don't say Norwich is the north. It is from where you are. Yeah, it's from me. I think I like films that sort of make you think, where you feel like you learn something. I don't like blockbusters. The only blockbuster films I like were the original ones, like probably Jaws. Is that a blockbuster?
Yeah, well, I think it's one of the biggest films of all time, so I would say.
Yeah, Jaws, because like a shark could bite you. But when you get a blockbuster, like Spider-Man, I'm like, that's not.
A spider can bite you.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make you go. Exactly. This is the thing. So if a shark bit you,
it becomes Shark Man.
Yeah, you become shark food, don't
you?
No,
you become Shark Man.
No, you become dead. And if a spider bites you, it's a bit annoying. Unless you live in Australia and you might die. But so then it's like that whole thing where it's like, anyone's got an origin story. It's just like I can't. Why? And then when it's like, and then the universes collide, and Wolverine got captured by the fucking Mr. X. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Skunkabell sums it up with 2 confused old men. I disagree, not with you there, with that comment, because I think you have to have these people. Like, I understand the dislike of the blockbuster and all that stuff, because it is just like nothing. It just hits you and then it goes away, doesn't it? It's not changing your life. Whereas if you watch like Gummo, one of the best, I know that's my favourite. I know. How do you feel about that? No, you love that film.
No, okay. This is the thing. A blockbuster just means the phrase was coined because people queued up around the block to go to popular films.
Is it?
Yeah, blockbuster means
Jot that down, everyone. There you go. We've learned something.
Yeah. I think it was first coined for Star Wars. They said this movie is a blockbuster. I
mean, this is incredible. You've blown this wide open from the start.
That's why you got me on.
A blockbuster means they've busted the block.
Yeah, they've gone round the block. They've had to queue round the block and got all the way round, like lapped themselves, like that snake eating its own tail.
Ouroboros.
So I think it was Star Wars where that phrase was coined, but blockbuster has come to mean shit or one-dimensional or superficial,
out, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't. But that's what I'm saying. But so people started going, instead of making films that could have been seen as influential and sort of like important, they started to just go, how long can we get the queue? So then the people are making the films and they're making these populist films to entice the most morons rather than trying to make good work. So that's when the whole thing started to collapse. I know this is a film movie. I'd say this isn't about, and there's a difference between films and movies in my mind. I would say One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a film, and I would say Marmaduke 2 is a movie.
See, the listener needs to know that Justin looks over to his right, I imagine saw a DVD of Marmaduke 2 and then literally said it out loud. Because he's got...
My 5-year-old is off school when he watched Marmaduke 2 today.
So for what is essentially an improv Twitch stream that's coming up in a second, we've just seen that Justin's main source of improv is look at what's next to him and think about what literally just happened.
I'm not fucking Socrates, am I?
It's just the fact you went. It's the fact you went. Marmaduke. He just looked up to the side and there he was. Well,
I don't know what to tell you.
Right, so
but yeah, so I haven't got an issue with populist. But when it's a race to the bottom...
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then I think that then the dumbing down... I remember when I was at school, and we had this Australian business studies teacher, and he goes, you used to talk about dumbing down, and dumbing down's going to be this thing. And I thought, what the fuck's he on about? And now I'm like, oh, God, he was so right.
Of course he was. I totally agree.
Well, he said, of course he was. Now, this was 1990... 1990.
1990.
I was going to make out it was 1990 something, but it was actually 1990 probably.
I just need to say Ginger Elvis says what we got here. First time chat from Ginger Elvis. Greg AFC with a first time chat of a smiley face. I've not read lots of the things. I can see Sam says Ash is not prepared for this podcast. They both seem to not be prepared at all. This is what it's like. People think we're not prepared. This is going well, isn't it? That's going all right.
What's prepared? Go watch something prepared.
I'll tell you what, listener, viewer.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, well, go watch something else. Of course
I
it's
don't
not
mean
prepared.
that. Stay there. Batter says, I love the blockbuster Star Wars, especially the original and prequel. I don't like the prequels.
That's all of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is all of them. Raven Elf says to Skunkerbell, they're just having a conversation. I'm not going to read that out. It's very difficult. See, I'm not good with the comments. I'm really not. The blockbusters were ruined by Dean Devlin, who made Godzilla, Independence Day, Stargate, and all of the offshoots like Twister.
Well, you can blame particular people, but you got to blame the people that go and buy the tickets. Ultimately, you've got to blame the people that go and buy the tickets.
You have to.
Don't go and watch them.
You have to.
Go and watch. Go and watch.
Go on. What? Look around the room. Look around the room.
No, I watched the film the other day and it was quite good. It had the tall one out of Flight of Conchords in it. I can't remember. Oh yeah,
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah, probably.
It was a good one, was it? Eagle versus Shark.
No, but it wasn't a blockbuster, and I was like, oh, at least I sort of like it was about a relationship.
Eagle versus Shark.
Yeah, Eagle versus Sharknado.
Yeah, there you go.
Good one.
Okay, so
I like
that. Let's have a little look at this. For the first time ever, I want the world to see this randomizer.
What have I got to do?
What do you mean? What? Don't say what have you got to do now. We're 23 minutes in.
We are not.
23 minutes.
All you've been doing is reading out this toilet wall graffiti from these fucking mooks.
So, here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the randomizer. I'm going to click on this cinema ticket in a moment, and then what we will have is our first randomized film. Are we all ready? This can only go one of two ways.
That can go two ways.
This can only go one of two ways. Here we go. With your first film, Justin Panks. Are you ready? This is the first film ever. If we get
no, not yet. I'm not ready yet.
Brace yourself. If we get Arse Blood, if Arse Blood ever comes up again, there needs to be something that happens. Like it needs to be the. I don't know what that is. We need to think about that. Any suggestions? Sam the King says he's on a bus. So, well done.
Oh, he did strike me as a bus person.
He is, bus wanker. Right. Here we go. Here's your first film, Justin. You braced? You don't have to, like, there's no pressure on here. I just want...
Can I pass on any, or can I got to go?
You can pass on it if you want, but, you know. Yeah, we did a little run through the other day, and ones that I thought were useless, you...
Right, so there's no passing.
Okay.
It's got to happen.
It's got to happen.
That's the rules. It's not for every episode, but I'm SAS of improvising.
So the first ever randomised film on I'd Watch That is Heat Tomorrow. So that, I think, is the heat from the film Heat, and Tomorrow from the film...
Tomorrow Never Dies.
What's the one about... What's the disaster movie with Tomorrow?
The Day Before Yesterday.
That's true. That is it.
No, it's not. It's the day after
Heat
tomorrow.
But what you feeling? Yeah. What you got in your thoughts for Heat Tomorrow? That's a difficult one to start with, I think.
Oh, fuck me, that is. Right, this is a teenage high school film.
Oh. Yes. They're on Heat?
And no. Hey, are you going to interrupt me?
Yeah, I am going to interrupt you.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm used to that. No, Heat Tomorrow is about the eve of the high school prom.
Oh,
and the whole film is set on the day before the prom. You never actually see the prom in the movie. It's like an art house film, and it's about anticipation, expectation, anxiety, and it's about
teen angst.
Yes, about teen angst, and it's called Heat Tomorrow, and it's a bit like, you know, the old 70s films that you look back now that were very dodgy, that were about tricking women into sex, like Porky's, and there was other ones as well.
Loads. What was that? That's such a weird time.
And American Pie sort of parodied that, but also had their cake and ate it, and it was quite...
There was a lot of that in it.
I'm going to say problematic. But so I think Heat Tomorrow is set in a high school in Massachusetts, just outside Boston. So they haven't got the identity of Boston, but they're sort of like a bit like that. And it's a bit of a Pretty in Pink, but there's no money shot. It's a very
What do you mean no money shot? Well, I don't know what Pretty.
You don't get to see how it plays out.
Oh,
all you get to see is the fretting and the sort of, like I said, the angst and the sort of like, you get to see the anxiety before the Lord Mayor show. You don't get to see the Lord Mayor show.
Like the bitching, the girls that are there. Is it like the typical American thing where it's like the the girls that
you get to see all the drama that weaves itself up
is
to
it a
an
drama?
event.
Is this a drama?
Yeah, well, no, it's more of an art house improvised thing. I've gone very lo-fi, very low budget to begin with, but I think that has been informed. I'm not being pretentious. I think that has been informed by the two
today
that
you watch High School Musical.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think Heat tomorrow, and I think it's about and the tagline. I know I might be jumping.
No, yeah, that's one of the things. I want your tagline.
It would be warm today. Because this is about the build up to something, and it's an exercise in that. And I think sometimes in life, well, it's like anything, isn't it? Like, look at your Christmas dinner. You spend 3 hours or 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is, preparing it, and it's like 10 minutes in the eating. And this is a study of the elevation to something looming, and you don't get to see how it plays out. Well, it doesn't really matter because you realise that all of the drama and this conflict and the all the sort of like drama is in the build-up.
It's beautiful, I think. Is it? So you're talking like an ensemble cast?
Yeah, it'll be a young cast of unknowns that'll be wearing very pastel-y colours.
This feels like a massive launch. The possible of like you're talking about the next generation of your Hollywood heart.
Yeah, this could go into like a new Dogme '95 type movement where this is about hinting and foreshadowing, forbearing, and it's all about that. You know, you look at sort of like films like Battleship Potemkin where the pram falls down the Odessa steps, and there's all these foreshadowing things, and it's like these things are sort of like hints, and it's all hints and all foreshadowing, and then the rest you don't ever get. And I suppose that has been done to a lesser extent, hasn't it? Where like you sort of like build up to things and they end.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hate like the end of The Sopranos. Like when Tony Soprano's with his family in that diner and the door opens and he looks up and then it ends.
There's someone bringing in the soup, isn't it?
This film is that moment stretched out over 90 minutes, 80 minutes. How long's a film? I don't know how long a film is.
It could be. Well, no, you tell me. How long is it? That's the thing. Is it going to be a 90-minute film?
23 minutes.
23.
No, it's about 90 minutes. No, over 90 minutes. It is the moment. If I did an art piece in the Tate Gallery, it would be the end of The Sopranos, not the end. Yeah, the end of The Sopranos, but slowed down so it took 24 hours for Tony Soprano to just look up at the door.
So the door doesn't open?
Yeah, it stretches out. And this film is 90 minutes of Tony Soprano looking up at the door. That's what this is.
Okay.
This is very conceptual. This isn't the sort of film you would go and see because
no one's going to see this film. Let's make that
no
one
would see it. No one would see it, but it would probably have...
It's winning awards. It's winning awards at Cannes.
It would have a lo-fi soundtrack from that bloke who did the Curious George. Remember, he was quite
Curious
big.
George, the monkey and the...
What was he called? Like Joseph Jones or something? He was like he probably
Curious
had more
George, isn't that a little monkey, a cartoon monkey?
Yeah, but they had that Californian flip. He was like the Californian flip-flop Ed Sheeran. He was called like Joseph Jones or something. He had a guitar and he was all sort of like quirky and Hawaiian sounding, but sort of so.
Can anyone advise who he's talking about?
Yeah, probably. So he had that sort of like just acoustic guitar, maybe a sort of like motify, riffy soundtrack.
Yeah. I can hear it. I know what you mean.
Yeah. And there's no real arsehole. It's not like a high school film where you got the jocks and the
set in reality.
And everyone's a bit... I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a bit Party of Five. That is so not the point. That sort of dialogue. The first time I ever heard that sort of dialogue, when people said that is so not the point. And I remember, like, I was at college and my then girlfriend was watching it. And I had to leave the room when that little fucking annoying midget girl kept saying, that is so not the point, Corey. That is so not the point. I was like, who talks like that? And now everyone talks like that.
Everyone does.
Everyone so does.
That's not the point.
What they do.
Not the point. Right, so let's see. Skunkerbell, Yanis, has said he was thinking of an apocalyptic day after tomorrow vibe with Heat tomorrow. I mean that was
the obvious one. I was going to say that it's about. I was going to say it was about the sun, as they say.
You need to say what feels right. You don't need to say what you were going to say.
No. But I think that would be... See, that's why I'm on the show and you're in the chat, Yanis. Because I didn't go for the first obvious one of it. It's about when the sun comes to the end of its life and expands and engulfs the earth. That's obviously what it would have been about. And I hinted at that by talking about...
Yanis suggests it's about all the volcanoes going off at once.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, mine was even better than that.
I love it.
But Heat tomorrow is. I'm just saying it's about that kind of lukewarm moment before the white hot
I
crucible.
love
of
it. I
some
do.
event.
Like I said, I don't want to watch it, but I want it to be made. That's for sure.
Yeah. There'd be people in dungarees and stuff.
Hello, Ash Flax McNulty over there in the chat. Or Skunkerbell also says Heat tomorrow could be the sequel to Mexican Food Today. That's a bit base.
Yeah,
bit base.
Yeah. Well, no, that's fine. But Heat tomorrow, I just think. Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to actually make a film, right?
No, it was beautiful. That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
Frippo YT, my own offspring, says I doubt there will be heat tomorrow, judging by the recent weather trends.
That's good. It could be about a weather person. That's a good thing. It could be sort of like one of those. It could be about a weather person, a bit like Anchorman, but not a comedy about a low-level local weather person from Sacramento or somewhere like that.
I love your little American references. Oh, by the way, listener, Panks' hat is now back on.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll take it off then. Sorry.
No, keep your hat on. I like it.
No, I like putting hats on and off. I put a lot of hats. Hats go on and off. That's what I do with my hats. They go on and off. I don't like to keep. And but it could be about someone who's completely depressed because all they get to do is say it's going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be hot, and they're just like, oh, my life is just like Groundhog Day. Do you know what I mean? To be fucking. It's El Scorcho, I suppose, isn't it?
That's what I'd call it, El Scorcho.
Well, the far show thing, but it's like, how about this existential crisis for a weather person?
When you said it's like Groundhog Day, famously that is about a weatherman.
I didn't clock that when I said it, but you're right. But I didn't mean it's like Groundhog Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, so was Groundhog Day a saying that meant repetitive days?
Well, Groundhog Day is literally a thing where they pull the groundhog out and then it whispers.
Okay. I know that. I know that
is called Groundhog Day. And
okay, but
he gets stuck in that day.
But if you had a job and everything was the same, you say, "Oh, it's like Groundhog Day." Is that from the film?
Yeah, I think that's from the film.
So Groundhog Day is a thing about a groundhog declares whether it's going to be a good summer or not. He stands up and says, "It's going to be a good summer." No, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's dependent on what the groundhog does. But the term Groundhog Day to mean repetition.
Think that was made by...
You think, you can't Google stuff now.
I can easily do it. I've got my phone there. I'm not going to do it. Okay, that's great. I love that. Heat tomorrow. People are saying, is it not a sequel to the film Heat? Some people laughing at the fact I can't edit this, so that's good. Right, are you ready for your second film? I'm going to click save on that one. Are you ready for your second film, Jussie Peanuts? Mm-hmm. Here we go. And listener, I want more, and viewer, get involved. Let us know what you think as well. I do like to hear what you think.
Hang on, can I just make a suggestion to the viewer and listener? Instead of telling me what your film would be about, why don't you chip in and add to mine?
Oh, that's probably much more creative, yeah.
Yeah, my film, whatever I say the film is, you tell me who's in it, you tell me what, just give me the... Because we could all go, I do it about a volcano. But, all right. Let's all work together.
I like that. Let's be a team.
There's no I in team.
Yanis says, I give this How a maximum of 2 episodes. He has corrected himself, but I'm not going to read it because you shouldn't be so mean, Yanis. How about that?
I can't even read
that. Don't read it, mate. You don't need to read them, especially from him. Right, here we go. Thanks, Yanis. Your next film, Jussie P. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Crusade Nation. So I imagine that is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, potentially. And Nation, got no idea what Nation is from, what film that's from.
Crusade Nation is a sci-fi film.
Oh.
And it's more about us colonising planets. We have already colonised Mars in the year 2081.
Yeah.
But it is now the year 3011. And we talk about the old country, Earth, in very hushed, very sort of like, basically, I think we go to Mars in whatever year I just said.
Are we the nation of Earth?
Crusade, yeah.
So it's
the nation of humans.
So you think it's like nation would be like the English nation when we went on the Crusades?
Yeah. And we go to a planet called Conquisius. And on Conquisius...
What does that mean?
I was thinking...
Conquest.
Conquered. Yeah. So we go to Conquisius. So yeah, exactly. So we go, we've done all this research, and like, you know, when we came to Mars, and we'd be like, right, we're not going to do that thing where we mine everything and fuck it
We're
up.
not doing that.
You know,
Yeah. We're not doing that.
and we did it. We did it again. Oops.
Well, funny you say that. As you say that, Ravenel says we would crusade to other planets as humanity never changes. That is what you're saying.
So then we realise that we are. Oh, I'm trying this back to one of my things. That humans are a cosmic parasite, and it is in our nature to propagate and destroy the host.
So it goes against. What's the idea of it is that
it's like, you know, Planet of the Apes. You know, at the end of Planet of the Apes, when he sees the Statue of Liberty and he realises that humans are bad, and he's like, "Oh, why did we do this?" This is like the other side of that, and we realise that we are programmed to do this. We are the Crusade Nation, and
is that the last line of the film? Does one of them look round, or they go to another planet and they realise it's already been completely mined?
How about they find like an ark, and instead, or they find like a box, and instead of the Dead Sea Scrolls in it, there's a DVD of Planet of the Apes. So they have to reverse engineer a DVD player, and then they watch it, and that's a bit like them reading the Bible, and they go, "Oh fuck, that's what."
I'm just thinking they turn up to a planet that's already been mined to nothing, like it's like craters, and they think it's uninhabitable. But then they realise,
and then they find the human artifact.
They'd already been there and fucked it. And this is just so that's what's happened. Humankind, the last few people left on Earth, then repopulated, left the planet again, and then the Earth come back to normal and fixed itself, and then those people overpopulated went off and did it again. So
or how about this? So they all land on this planet, Conquisius.
Well done. Well done on remembering.
I don't think I did. And they go, I think you've just forgotten. And they get on this planet, and they're like, we've done some viewing. There's all these inhabitants we're going to destroy. But when they get there, the inhabitants have already destroyed themselves. So they get there, and because they are this Crusade genes, and we've been like, you know, like how you sort of like get the fastest dog to breed, and then you end up with a greyhound. Yeah. So we've done that. So we're now these like super aggressive conquerors, a bit gone back to like Space Vikings, which would also be a good name for it. That could be the tagline.
Is that what you're calling it? Do you want that to be your tagline? Because that's what I'm asking. Yeah, Space Viking. This feels a bit like a B movie now, though. If you put
no, it's 100% a B movie.
Oh, is it? Okay.
B movie. This is like when John Travolta did the Scientology one.
So this is a B movie.
So they get to this planet, and all these people have already wiped themselves out. So then, because we get there with these super jacked up genes, we don't settle.
And I tell you what, I used to wear jacked up jeans. People took the piss out of me. They called me Michael Jackson. They called me Jack Off. They did it all the time. You can't wear jacked up jeans.
So they get there and they start eating themselves, attacking themselves. And then there's a parable for what we're doing now. And that's when you do the thing where they find an artifact and you go, oh, that's what humans are doing on this planet, man.
That's what we've done.
Should we be working together? So for the film, you're sort of getting this sort of sense of this this sort of like space armada getting their ducks in a row and being unified. They get to this place. It turns out there's no one to kill because they've already killed themselves. Then they turn on each other and it seems futile and it seems kind of like counterintuitive. And then there's some sort of pullback and reveal at the end, well, that's what we're doing. Crusade Nation.
Can you, because you're saying it's a B movie, give me a ballpark budget, because I understand like you've got blockbusters now that are like 40 million quid, which isn't like, but you've got some that
well, how much did, right, do you know how much certain films cost?
I think Deadpool, for example, was about 40 million quid.
Oh, fuck me. Well, like fucking 8 then.
So we're talking 8 million budget.
Maybe not even.
Have you got any actor or the type of person? It doesn't have to be a specific actor, but like, have you got a level? Because you know, like
I'll tell you, it'd be someone out of a telly.
This is what I was going to say. You know, like you'll watch one of these films, and it'll be like you think it's a blockbuster, but it's not, and then it'll be some bloke who's on EastEnders, and you'll just go, "Hang on a minute, that's the like John from the Laundrette."
It would be someone sort of like who was in Breaking Bad, but wasn't like one of the main ones in the Breaking Bad. It'd be like fucking Gilbert Ehrmantraut or something.
And I like it in those films where you do get an English bloke that is just doing
an American
accent. And you go, oh, this is it for him. And then you realise it's Matt Goss and he's done. There's nothing more for him to do.
Or it might be the bloke who was the bad robot in Terminator 2.
Yes.
He'd be the main dude.
Yeah.
He'd be the main
I don't know
dude.
what his
He's
name
doing
is.
nothing now. No, I don't know. The one who turned into Mercury.
People will know what his name is. I could look it up on IMDb, but that's probably asking too much. So Ginger Elvis says, when you say us, do you mean the intergalactic Soviet Union? It's very topical.
Mm.
Sam the King suggests it's a musical about colonization. Raven Elf says, we could crusade to other planets as humanity never changes. So that is kind of what you said there. Sam the King says it's full of monkeys. Turns out even Elon Musk beats us to it. Yanis says, I would make an animated film about a tribe of ants who go on a great war against a hostile termite den, and the ant pope declares a holy crusade against the termites. The whole thing produced by Studio Ghibli. I don't know what that.
Fuck, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, Yanis. Thanks.
You're a weirdo.
Thanks for being there, Yanis.
But we love you.
Raven Elf, he would buy like a husk or a Mr. House from Fallout. I don't know what that means. Jacked up trousers are trendy now, says Sam the King. Turns out I was very trendy as a youngster. And Raven Elf says I'd defo watch that, but I think in relation to something else that not that. So we've got to get these. I'd watch that. I think that's the type of film I would watch. I love that you're reading the comments, so you've come close to the screen.
I can't see them. They're tiny. How big are they on your
They're
screen?
quite small.
Yeah. I don't even want to.
And oh my God, Ash with chat, says Raven Elf. Raven Elf, how do I know whether to read it or not? How do I know if it's a little conversation you're having?
Oh, what does she mean? You're not good at reading chat?
Yeah, I'm shit at reading chat, and everyone says it on everything I ever do. They're like, oh my God, he doesn't even know not to read this conversation I'm having. But how can I know? How can I know? I'm just reading anything. Yanis says, shall we fund some glasses for Justin?
What? What have I done wrong?
Exactly. All my comments are from ages ago. Please read chat, Justin. Save us. Raven Elf, I'll say this to you as I said it to Yanis. Go fuck yourself. But don't stop watching. And if my son is still watching, I'm sorry I swore.
We're not. Is your son watching? Should I not swear?
Don't swear all you like. I don't care. He doesn't care. Right. So, with regards to this, before we move on, give me like the pivotal scene. This is the first sort of blockbuster. I should have asked this on the last one. Give me the thing. You know, you're sticking it in the trailer. This is the thing that gets talked about.
Right. No, but the thing about this one might not be okay. This is a bit of a sixth sense. It is the bit of a Usual Suspects. It is the end scene when you realise that we are perpetually doomed to keep doing this. So the pivotal scene is at the end when we go, oh, it doesn't matter if there's an enemy or if there isn't an enemy, because of our nature, we are always going to be destined to do this.
I like it.
So the pivotal scene is the end when you sort of go, then they realise that this has been going on forever. Somehow they find a space map.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. No, it'll be like, I do think that they go to a planet, we've already done it, and they realise that it's a cycle that
maybe we've gone round at the start. Yeah, maybe we've done a space loop.
Yeah, Space Loop, which is the sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be.
Space Loop. Right, are you ready for your third film?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. That's meant to be Casino. There is a spelling mistake, but it says...
It could be Way of the Casio. It could be about like can I say Way of the Casio, please?
If you want to do Way of the Casio, do Way.
Okay, it's a cross between Karate Kid and Crossroads. In Crossroads is the dueling guitar.
It's the same actor in both.
Ralph Macchio?
Yeah.
But Way of the Casio is a bit like the Foot Fist Way, but instead of karate, it's about keyboard players. And they have dueling keyboards like the beginning of Deliverance.
Are they wearing them like, you know, the comedian Hugh Davis, where he wears it in straps over his shoulder, his keyboard, so he can walk around and play it?
One of them does, and one of them's a bit more authentic. One of them's classic. Yes, one of them's classically trained. Comes from the right side of the tracks. He's been trained up. He's got all the new Casio. He's got all the Casios. He's got Moog organs, whatever you call them. And he's got like all the money behind him. And he's a rich hedge fund kid. The other one's from the wrong side of the tracks. His dad died. He left behind this little battery-powered Casio, not even a full-size Casio, but he had talent.
Is it a tiny Casio? And
yeah, it's a tiny Casio keyboard. It's the one that was about 2 foot long, and he's got like the
demo
bossa nova.
samba.
Yeah. No, but and they're saying, you need a new Casio. You can't play with this organ. And he's like, that's my dad's organ. It's a bit like that. The thing. Many films have been made where the kid finds a magic pair of football boots. He thinks the power's in the football boots. The power's not in the football boots. The power's in him. The way of the Casio, it goes for a round robin like a wrestling tournament.
Hey kid, no playing demos here. That's a bossa nova, and you know it. I'm not playing a demo.
Hey, in the next round, you're up against.
Come on.
Fanny Snodgrass.
Hold on.
And
hold
he
on.
is the best Casio.
Fanny Snodgrass. Let me write that down.
Fanny Snodgrass is the hedge fund kid. He's got all the backing. He's got brand new batteries in his Casio. He's got all the samples. He's got like the better drum machine. He's had it upgraded.
Fanny Snodgrass.
And Fanny Snodgrass is the Shooter McGavin of the keyboard world, the competitive keyboard world. And anyway,
what worries me is I know that you only can make up things that you can see. You looked off to the right and you said Fanny. Fanny Snodgrass. We don't know what's over there, but we've got a fair idea. Next to the Marmaduke 2 DVD is some pornography.
It weren't a DVD. I downloaded it, mate. Like it's 2011. I'm fucking with it. So
Fanny Snodgrass.
Fanny Snodgrass. So the pivotal moment, like Tonya Harding, pays some henchmen to sneak in and break. What's the hero's name? Let's think of the hero's name. Is Chet.
Chet.
Yeah, it's an American. It's Chet.
Look around the room. He's looking around the room.
Table. Chet Table is the.
Hold on. Someone just asked for a sound effect, so I'm going to use this one. I don't know. You can't hear that, but the listener heard it.
So Chet Table.
Chet Table.
Chet Table is the one whose dad's dead. He's got the little Casio.
His dad's dead.
Yeah, his dad died.
Piano fell on him. He was a removal man.
His dad was a session musician that was employed by Fanny Snodgrass's dad, who was like the big, who was the big local musician, and it was a bit like Kingpin, and they nobbled Chet Table's dad, and they fucked him over, and like the only thing, he had no money. They ripped him off. No, they ripped him off.
So is he not dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh,
but they didn't kill him. But he'd done all the arrangements, and Chet Table's dad made all this money and left. He's loaded. But like, Fanny Snodgrass's dad was the famous one. But he made his money by exploiting Chet Table's dad. He did all the arrangements, the session musician, never got any credit, never got paid for it, and he died in poverty. And the only thing he left to Chet Table was his Casio, and it's a bit wonky, but he just felt that it had his dad's mojo and power in it. Now, the day before the big competition, the final in Way of the Casio, when they're going to go head to head, it's freestyle. Hang on, in the way it's done, they've got to do a piece. They've both got to do a piece, choose a piece and do it to the judges. Then they've got a freestyle like dueling banjos, but dueling Casio.
But he's only got a little one, and the other guy's got like an all singing, all dancing.
Everything. He's got like Rick Wakeman, the multi-story ones, where he's got like them all round him, like that little elephant out of Star Wars.
Playing him over his back and all that stuff.
Yeah, all like that. So anyway, he pays some henchmen that go down to the cheap Travelodge type hotel, and they go in to Chet Table's room, and they smash up his Casio, and he has to go down. And he goes, I can't do it. And
has he got a mentor? Has he got a Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah, he has. He's the bloke that worked in Tandy. And
is it set in the 80s?
It's not the keyboard. Yeah, so it's set in the 80s. Yeah, of course it is. This is retro. This is a retro one. So he goes, it's a bit like the Foot Fist Way. It's a comedy. But he goes, it's not. It was never the keyboard, Chet. It was you. And he goes, I don't know. And he goes, let's go down to fucking whatever the equivalent is in America. What is it? Like Target. And we're going to buy this fucking keyboard. and then it doesn't matter, and he goes in there and he wins.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've got a lump in my throat just thinking about it.
You feel a bit nauseous.
Yeah, no. I think it's emotional. I think it'll be emotional.
So, right, let's talk. Let's talk budget again. We're going again around the sort of.
I think this is a high budget for a comedy. I think this would be. I can see this being produced a bit like a Wedding Singer.
Really?
I'd picture it about. Wedding. I think it might have Danny McBride in it as the mentor. I think the baddie.
This film just took a big step up in my mind. I didn't realise how much I liked Danny McBride until you said his name in relation to the Casio.
Yeah. And it's all very much like making these sort of like big, sort of like speeches, but it's about something so ridiculous.
I'm just thinking this is excellent.
Yeah, this is too good. We've got to take this.
I really like this.
Like the irony, it would actually be funny, but it's such a
that's why it's a beautiful.
Yeah. And actually, I can see him. The pivotal thing you asked me last question. I can see a montage in the middle where the keyboard guru is and Chet Table is really improvised, and it's a bit like the Footloose when they're dancing to Let's Hear It for the Boy. Do you know what I mean? And it's all like very much. Like
I'm getting a feeling of Whiplash, but with Casios.
Yeah. Oh mate, yeah, it's like Whiplash, but instead of the guy in Whiplash, it was against himself, going for perfection, also his mentor. But this is more like got that Karate Kid aspect as well.
He finishes playing and he looks down and there's blood all over the keys.
And you know what he does? It's a bit. I don't know who's seen Crossroads.
Yeah.
There's the bit where Fanny Snodgrass does him. He does this big bit, and then it stops and everyone's looking at Chet Table. And Fanny Snodgrass starts celebrating, and everyone's going, Fanny, 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 and they're all doing this, and he's celebrating, and then you just hear this bossa nova style behind him, and then he plays this song that is his interpretation of a lullaby his dad used to sing to him.
We see it.
And every time in the film, you have this flashback to the last time you ever saw his dad, and he's singing him this lullaby, which is his own composition. But it's all fancy.
Is it too much that the guy from Casio is there and he goes, I like it, kid.
Oh my God!
Can we use it as a demo?
A guy from Casio comes over and says, Chet Table, we are going to use your composition as the demo on our Casio keyboards.
Absolutely.
And that's the end. So every time, and then everyone who ever had a Casio keyboard, they pressed the demo and it played Chet Table's song. That was his dad's lullaby. His dead dad's lullaby. Oh, God. You're not dry in the house, pod booth.
So we're talking the 30-40 million pound mark, aren't we? So again, you've got youngsters in there, I'd say. You're Danny McBride, great piece of casting. Danny McBride, absolutely superb bit of casting. Do
you know what, Ash? Can I go back? Danny McBride is his dead dad who comes back and speaks to him like a ghost.
I think you've ruined it.
Like a spirit.
Danny McBride needs to be as Mr. Miyagi.
I think I'm better than you.
You totally are, but I don't think he.
Yeah, well, don't fucking you start telling me.
I think Danny McBride needs to be in this film.
No, he is in it, but he's in it sort of like a bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. Making up.
I just think he's a great.
I ain't said that before.
I think Danny McBride is a brilliant Mr. Miyagi. I genuinely do. I think you nailed it first time. I don't think you need ghosts of his dad, but I think his dad should be in it, but with flashbacks. I think this needs to be anchored in reality.
That is the thing. They go, and do you know what? To just get the recognition of one of his dad's compositions on the demo of a Casio means more to him than making all the... Because Fanny Snodgrass's dad, and he's there.
Does Fanny Snodgrass win the competition?
No,
he does win
it. Table does. And he does win the competition. And not only does he win the check for £500,000, which saves his nan's house, which is always in the film, dollars, he also, the man from Casio goes, we want that. And then at the end, you should see all these kids in like electric shops in the 80s pressing demo, and you can just hear his dad's lullaby.
It's brilliant.
And that's his
absolutely
thing.
Genuinely brilliant. Can I have a tagline for the film, please?
Money can't buy boogie.
Right, let's see what the chat says about that. Let's see what the chat says.
I don't want to know.
Sirio the Warrior DM says how to learn the keyboard. It's about a young keyboardist, says Sam. This is before it sort of came in. They need to use the sound effects.
Yeah, they're right. You're not good at the chat, are you?
This is before. I'm just reading them all.
Yeah, but they've said this ages ago.
Yeah, but I wasn't reading it while you were talking because you were on a flow. Sirio the Warrior DM says, Justin, I'd so watch dueling banjos on the grand piano setting. So that's the point of it. I'd watch that. We've got our first I'd watch that, I'd say. Way of...
they're getting in on it and using your...
Way of the Casio sounds like a track. It's just DJ on repeat. Don't know what that means. Sam says, mine is a biopic about the person who wrote all the demo songs and the Casio keyboard. And no one heard...
Did that come up before I said it?
That was at the same time you said it. I did a sound effect. No one heard it because I've turned off the desktop audio because there was an echo. Yanis says, I know Casio only as a manufacturer of cheap but very robust watches.
I've got a Casio watch.
So have I. How about the Casio calculator watch bought from a charity shop and turns out to be a time machine? A lovely option.
That's option. Good. But the way of the it reminded me of the way of the fist, which was that a computer game?
So. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a great computer game.
Yeah, so that's why I put the competition element in it.
I think it was absolutely brilliant. Right, so I've managed chat there, so I don't think I fucked up too much, and I didn't read it when you talked to yourself. Right, are you ready? This is your fourth film we've got coming up now, okay?
Right. How many have I got to do?
You don't have to do 6. You stop now if you want, mate. But come on, mate. We've got all night. Right, here we go with your fourth film. Mission Escape.
See, some of these just sound like those funny Chinese. When they go, "Oh, did you know that Mission Impossible in China was called Tricky Job?" Or do you know what I mean?
But Mission that could Escape. Be. I mean, Mission Escape It sounds like it.
Right. Okay. Got it. I've got it. That's how long it takes. For route to tip. I've got it.
Have you really? You've got the full thing.
Yeah, I've got the whole film. Yeah.
I'm ready.
So I'm thinking. I watched a film in the 80s called Mission, and it's about nuns, and this is about nuns in Africa. Bit like a Captain Phillips. They get captured by what do you call them?
Pirates?
Guerrillas? Yeah,
they mean guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla pirates.
Not the fucking.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I could do that. Yeah, no.
That's the beauty of it. It can be anything you want.
Yeah, it could be good. Yeah, Mission Escape is all these nuns go over there and they're women of God. And they get and these blokes are really to begin with, they're being good little captives, and they're going, okay, we'll sit here. Yeah, you've got our hands cable tied behind our backs. That's all right. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you. And then one of them says something. He says something about God, and one of them looks up and gobs in his face. And then these nuns all.
Wow! I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
These Do they get their habits on?
And there's an Irish woman is the main actress, and she looks up and she says, and is going, and is I'm not going to do any accents. I can do the Irish woman's accent, but I'm not going to do the accent of the captor. So the captor says, "Your God can't help you now. You're in my country now. Your God, where's your God? Your God means nothing. There is no God. The only God is money."
Good line. Hold on, let me write that down. Yeah.
He goes, "This is my God," and he throws $100 in her face.
Money was good.
And he said, "Your God is stupid." And then she looks up and she's got a habit on, and she goes, "You're insulting my God there." Siri just came on.
Because you kept saying God. God works through Siri.
Yeah, mate. That is big tech. That's the man trying to stop me. So the the nun goes.
I like that you said you got into your Irish accent before she starts talking. The nun goes.
So the nun there, she goes there. She goes.
She's Jordan
no, she
now.
goes. Yeah, she is. She goes, Morty, I got a fishing rod. She goes.
No, you do. I shouldn't have interrupted. I only apologise.
Hang on. You didn't interrupt. No, Siri interrupted. So he goes, there is no God. He goes to the accent. He goes, this is my God. And he throws dollars in the face. And they all laugh. And they've got AK-47s and they've got cigars in their mouths. And this nun looks down at all this crumpled up money on the floor. And he rips the crucifix off from around her neck. And he puts it on the floor and he stamps on it. And he breaks it. And she looks down. And our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ in his human form is snapped in half on the crucifix, and he lifts up his combat boot, and she looks down at the crucifix in the dust, and she looks up and says, nobody stands on my crucifix.
It's very literal. It's very literal what she says. It's very.
And he says, I just stood on it.
It's written by a moron.
And she goes, yeah, you did, but you shouldn't have.
I wish you hadn't.
It's disrespectful. And he says, I wanted to disrespect you. That's why I stood on it. She says, that's made me angry. And I wanted to get you back, even though I'm a woman of God. And he says, yeah, but that's why I did it, because you can't. And then she says, if I wasn't tied up and you had all them guns, I'd slap you. And he goes, yeah, but you are tied up and we have got all these guns, so you can't. That's why I thought I could do that. And then they have to get out.
Oh, so is the main part of the film not them escaping?
I think this is the first film that's made primarily for blind people. They just say everything. It's like they commentate. It's like basically reading out subtitles.
Oh god!
No, but then they've got to escape, and then they.
I thought they were they militarised. They're not. So how do they get over the weapon?
They go right. You'll never get out of here. You'll never get out of this compound alive. We've hidden explosives everywhere, and then they've got to get out. And it's like an escape room. All of the puzzles are faith-based. And it's made by a church. It's like
it's a Christian.
This is like Christian computer game. This has been made by like them people that did Coney 2012 or something.
Top Gun was funded by the military to glorify the. It's a propaganda film. Some of the funding for the film Top Gun was paid for by the US military. Genuinely true. This has got.
Did you know that Jaws was funded by Inland Resorts?
Was it?
Yeah, to stop people going on holiday to the beach. That's not true. But that's what they do. So they're all faith-based puzzles, like an escape room thing. God. And then they'll be like, and they've got to work out stuff, and then they have to get out.
Absolutely lovely. Really enjoyed that. Again, because this is church. So is it a hit? This film? Do you think? Is it like?
No. This is
a Christian.
Like,
they go. We need an action film.
Is that? Because you think about it, Christian rock and the Christian computer game, they might make films, but this is one where they've really tried to make a blockbuster film, and they've tried to make the heroes nuns that are in a foreign country trying to spread the word of God in an extreme provocation. They're like, oh, do you know what? There's only so much shit.
Yeah, but they wouldn't say shit. Or do they? Is there one shit to like ground it? You know what I mean?
No, there is, but she says crap. So she goes, you know what? You're so full of crap.
Sister Margaret!
Yeah, Sister Margaret. I've had enough of this crap. She said it again. She's 10 out of 10 angry.
Oh dear. That's the best one. There's only so much crap we'll take.
Margaret, that's a cuss word. I don't give a crap. And then she like
and
rips off her habit,
the youngest,
and she's just got like saggy tits. You think she's gonna have like a bullet vest on?
I just imagine the youngest nun faints. The double crap.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The double crap.
Ash Frith McNulty. So this is Nuns on the Run via the Expendables via the Expendables lens. I think it wants to be, but I'm not sure it actually is that.
The trouble is, I think that people are insinuating that all films are like other films, especially when you're going on the titles of other films. Yeah. Okay. As long as people aren't going, oh, this is just that plus that. It's like, yeah, okay.
I'd like to say thank you to whoever deleted.
Well, do you know the tagline of Alien? They just went in when they pitched it and they said it's Jaws in space. Yeah, and that's called a high concept film. And a high concept film means the opposite of what you think it means. It actually means the concept is higher than the characterization and the writing. So they went in and they go, "What's the film about?" And they went, "It's Jaws in space." Yeah, let's make it. I think it was great.
Was it called an elevator pitch or something? Is that you sell a film in the time it takes you to get to the meeting room? Yeah.
Yeah, and they call that a high concept film. Is that the concept, you know everything from the concept, rather than... Because if I said to you, like, if you describe One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, it sounds shit, but it's actually one of my favourite films. But if you went,
Jaws in a hospital.
Yeah, but it's not... Yeah, okay. But it's not, but I know what you mean, yeah. It's Jaws in a mental hospital, except there's no shark.
What's the controversy from this film? Is there a bit that... Is it that the nun says crap?
No, they think that they've depicted the African nations too primitive. They have, and they're going, not all African nations. I think maybe, I don't know if that was levelled at the Captain Phillips, but it's been like they're too the African character too one-dimensional and too primitive.
But that is a big offensive part of the Christian faith, unfortunately.
But the thing is, they've set it in the wrong country. They set it in like a quite modern African country. Like they've set it in Zimbabwe, and it's like, well, that's not like, I don't know the African, but they're like, that's not like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's an ignorance to it. A bit like when Borat came out and the Kazakhstani president was like, that sort of controversy about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they've picked a specific city and they've painted it to be like mud huts, and it's actually like a really modern city in real life. That's where they went wrong.
This is beautiful. Absolutely bang on. I love that one. Congratulations. Ginger Elvis, thanks for the follow. That is very kind of you. Right, that was the film. Like, we just got a follower because of that film that you just did. That's what I'm saying. I've gained a follower here tonight. Right, you ready for your penultimate film here, Justin? Here we go. Your next film. That was a cracker, I've got to say. The Mr. Frog Show, I read it as them. I'm not very good at this part of it. I fully apologise. The Mr. Frog Show subscribed with Prime. I don't need to tell you they subscribed with Prime. Thank you, Mr. Frog Show. That was very kind of you for your subscription. I'm shit at reading, Justin. Here we go with your fifth film. Are you ready? Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Cop Lethal.
Is that how you spell lethal?
No, it has been badly spelt.
Yes, it has, hasn't it?
There are some errors. Okay. It was input for me by someone else, so I'm going to... he's been under a lot of stress, and he's done this. I'll send him the errors.
That's all right.
To be fair, the spelling of Casio, I'm leaving Casio in there, and I'll add Casino as well.
I'm trying to do the same with lethal. But I don't know.
Well, it feels a bit Imperial Leather, but
Cop Leather. Cop Leather.
You run with what you want. I think Cop Lethal. I think you don't need to say Cop Leather. You can do what you want.
Cop Lethal. So I'm going to go with lethal with meaning like lethal.
Yeah. Hello there. So Mr. Frog Show. That's Paul. I've just realised. Hello.
Oh, hang on. This is a policeman. His surname's Lethal, spelled like that. And everyone expects him to be like...
is this a throwaway comedy?
Yeah, another one. Yeah. But it's not. It's like they things will be like... It's like if you
don't have to say another one. This is fine. Like, you're not choosing these. These are...
Yeah, but I think Cop Lethal is about it's a bit like a Bad Santa, but this policeman who's bumbling, but his surname's Lethal. So everyone always goes, "Let's get lethal."
Hold on, is this a Christmas film? I know you said Bad Santa, but is this set at Christmas?
No, this is set in the week between Christmas and New Year.
What's it called? Like is it the gooch? What's it? What do they call it? The taint, the Christmas taint.
Yeah. And when no one knows what bin day it is, and that's what's going on. And the whole backdrop of the film was him sort of like going round there to, it's like one of those sort of like not a whodunit where it's piecing the investigation together, and everyone's going, "What do you know what it is today? Is it a recycle or the normal?" And he's like,
"That's what he's up against."
To the fact.
He's really.
That's what he's up against. The
confusion.
It's a bit like the one where Al Pacino goes to that country where it never goes dark.
Oh God, that yeah.
Is it called Insomnia?
Yeah, I watched that. Actually, gave me anxiety watching that film. I remember watching it, just being horrible.
It's a bit like that, but instead of it never being dark and everyone being tired, it's
about
no one knows what bin day.
Why didn't he just get blackout blinds?
I've got like a little Zorro.
Why didn't he have that?
Well, it hasn't got the eye hole. Yeah. It's got an attached mustache.
Why
and a ponytail?
Because it drove him mad, didn't it?
Yeah. That was he couldn't sleep anyway. But he couldn't sleep. But didn't he do the murder?
No, did he?
I remember he shot a dead bear and took the bullets out. He was doing something dodgy, wasn't he? Do you remember? He found a dead bear up behind a shed. And then he went back and he shot the dead bear and he took the bullets out and then he put the bullets so it looked like they'd...
Don't know.
No? I can't remember. I probably shouldn't talk about things I don't remember. Or things that don't exist, like Cop Lethal.
You definitely should.
But Cop Lethal is about... I think the thing about Cop Lethal is a bit of an ironic thing that his surname is Lethal, but he's not lethal.
Is he a bumbling idiot? Who's in it? Who is it?
So, who is the cop? The cop is... This is a British film. This is a bit of a.
It's a British film.
It's a British film. It's a bit of a Simon Pegg type thing, Hot Fuzz type thing, but the Cop Lethal is Cop Lethal. God, who's Cop Lethal? Charlie from Casualty.
No, Charlie, he must be 65 years old.
Yeah, he's about to retire like all good cops. I'm retired tomorrow. I just gotta get through this week, and then I'm gonna sail my boat.
Why is he American?
England. Because he's over here. That's why they sent him over here.
Charlie from Casualty gets a massive break. He's only been in. Look, I've not done this so far on this stream, but I am actually going to go. We're going to go over to IMDb right now. So here we are. We're over at IMDb. I hope that you can still hear us. Can you still hear us? I'm going to type in Casualty. Right. We're in Casualty. I want to know the 1980 TV series. Let us know if you...
What 1980s?
1986
90s.
It started.
Fucking hell. All right, sorry about that. I thought I would have
never
guessed that. So
clicking on it, I'm going to find out what the guy's name is. Charlie from Casualty. How do we find it? Top cast.
I don't know. I thought he was the top geezer in it.
Derek Thompson.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Derek. Born in 1948.
Yeah.
He's 74 years old.
42.
Does that make him 74 years old?
All right. I didn't tell you when this film came out, did I? This was before Casualty.
Yeah, you do. All right.
Yeah, there's a loophole in it. No, he is old. He comes out of retirement.
Hold on, is he the Kids in the Hall TV series from 2022? How the fuck?
The Kids in the Hall. The Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, they've done a whole new one. It's meant to be very good.
Oh,
he's done it. He's in that. So.
See, he's versatile, more versatile than you think.
You've done really well. And that's the American break. Well, Canadian, isn't it? Kids in the Hall. Yeah, right, so let me tell you about his career, okay? Casualty, 86 to 2022.
2000? Is that Twit 2000? Bollock the Owl.
He's in Pennies from Heaven. That's a short. Holby City. He was in. He's been in Holby City.
Oh, that feels like you can't be in Casualty and Holby City. That's not
13
being the rival.
years in Holby City, mate. He was in Resurrection Man. Wild Geese 2. He's in Wild Geese 2. That's a war film, isn't it? In Paper Dolls, he plays a male paramedic. That was in 1984, just before Casualty. That feels like it got him the job, didn't it? Obviously, he was Harry in Minder, one episode.
I used to love Minder, but then I went back and watched it. It's rubbish.
Really? Well, there you go. That is...
Cop Lethal.
I mean, I've got to be honest. I questioned your casting there. I did. I questioned it.
Yeah, well, you know you shouldn't. You should know that.
And so it's set in it's from the 80s.
It's set in the 80s.
He is
74.
actually 74 years old.
Yeah.
But
he's 74.
Okay.
And they bring him out of retirement. There's only one man for this, and he needs to be who? Lethal. And then he turns up at LEA. Cop Lethal. Every scene he turns up and he goes, hello, Detective Inspector Lethal. And they go, Lethal, and he goes, LEA with an A.
So it's
every scene. Like I have to
and me
name.
Too.
Yeah, Banks with a P, I say. That's my
Ginger Elvis. Ash Flaxman's notice says, between Christmas and New Year is an interesting setting. Every character is knackered, too full, hungover, or actively pissed.
Yeah, and again, it's a bit like Heat Tomorrow, isn't it? It's like you're looking forward to New Year, but you're just sort of getting over Christmas, and everyone's sort of like not taking it seriously. Why
is
are
it
you
a murder?
this now?
Is he investigating a murder?
What? Yeah, it's a murder. And everyone's going, why are you here? Like, fucking can't you wait till the New Year's? Like, no, Lethal never sleeps. And that's the tagline.
Sleeps.
Yeah.
L-E. Is it spelled L-E-A?
Yeah,
Lethal.
L-E-A.
And never sleeps, going back to
T-H-A-L.
what you were saying before about the...
Yeah. Lethal never recuperates between two big holidays.
It could be set in Norway. Ginger Elvis, Holby City and Casualty did a crossover once. I hate the fact that I know that. And then Skunkabell says, I would like it if it showed a policeman in a regime who takes advantage of his position and executes people arbitrary with a vigilante justice. He manages not to attract negative attention until one day he shoots the daughter of the autocrat. Then he becomes hunted and is executed himself at the end of the film by the son of one of his victims and not by the autocrat's henchman. There is no hero in the film. That is the controversy.
That's a bit like The Bad Lieutenant.
They made two films called The Bad Lieutenant, though, didn't they? Isn't there?
Well, I've seen the Harvey Keitel one, and that is quite odd. It's good. I liked it.
Well done. Well, I enjoyed that. Cop Lethal. We got one more, okay?
These all sound so, like I said, they all do sound like Donkey Kong, don't they? Like, is it like mistranslation?
Well, yeah, that is the beauty of it, I think, it leads it to. So here is your final film this evening.
It's going to be a good one.
Sport Lies.
Oh, God, it's an obvious thing. That's a very hot topic at the minute, isn't it?
Sports washing, or...
I was thinking you could go back, it could be like a sport film, but about a trans athlete.
Oh, okay. Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. So if trans issues are going to go into sport and we're not going to, biological doesn't make, then I think there is going to have to be a sport film about it, right? Where the hero or heroine or neither, the nondescript
athlete,
focal character is someone.
They're in a minefield.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm in a minefield, but they it could be sort of like a sport thing, but they just absolutely thrash everyone. There's absolutely no jeopardy at all. It's like Rocky, but it just wins every round.
I think it's quite good. It could play out that thing where you know, there is this thing at the moment where people say, well, it's not fair, blah, 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 blah. So is there a part...
Well, that's why the sport lies is.
So is there going to be that thing at the end where they are accepted, or...
Yeah, totally, yeah. No, it's never mentioned. There's no
chatter in the film. It's not like a struggle piece.
No, it's just meant to be. It could be like a sort of like parody. It is just like a film where you get the. You know what?
The trouble with that is, it sounds like one of those films. You know, like the Wayans brothers did White Chicks, where it was of it.
Yeah, oh no, it's definitely problematic. I'm not.
Oh, really? I was thinking it's going to be this thing where it's like, because of this situation now, it's an opportunity to make a film about that struggle. But you're literally saying this is it's kind of like a 90s film where they thought, hold on, what if trans people were allowed in sport?
Well, Johnny Knoxville was in one where he pretended to be. Yeah, it's like that. It's not a good film, and I don't endorse it.
Because there's an old film. What's that old film where the guy takes tanning pills to become a basketball player?
Yeah, Soul Man or something.
Yeah, bro, that is. Yeah, I do remember that. I just said it.
Because it's a white kid that can't get into college, but there's one place left. But it's like, it's like that. Yeah, and remember? Do you remember just one of the guys where a woman pretends to be a man to get same sort of thing to be?
Yeah, vaguely.
Do you remember that?
But don't they end up like falling in love with a... But so this is a film clearly set in the 90s, late 90s, where all of that stuff was kind of just, we could take the piss out of anyone that's...
I don't think they're taking the piss in. I think they are. I don't know.
So
I don't know.
Is it a transgender man or a transgender woman?
I think what it's got to be is a bit... Yeah, that's what it's got to be.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a man that has transitioned to a woman and then finds it very easy. So there's no sort of like, it's just that's the thing. It's not like because I think if you did it a woman that transitioned to a man, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but it'd be more of an achievement, and that wouldn't be Sport Lies. This is like Sport Lies. It's like he's someone, but they're not transgender. They're not transgender. They're pretending. And that's the lie. Yeah, they're not transgender. It's just a man who identifies as a man, pretending to identify as a woman to compete. Wow. That's the lie. And that's what happens at the end. They get found out, and you know what? Still bloody loses.
Loses?
They have that. Yeah, loses at the end. Because the lies are... They go, we've got you on tape here saying that you're a man. He's like,
so how does he get to race? So he's found out afterwards, or he's found out before, and then somehow does the race. Like they're coming down the stairs, like it's a man, running down the stairs.
Yeah. It's a man. He doesn't identify as a woman at all. We've got him on camera. We've outed him.
Like a big argument within the bowels, caught on CCTV.
It's like it's rest. I think it's set in college.
Really?
Wrestling, right? Yeah, I think so.
Thinking,
because at the end,
100-meter sprint.
No, ice skating, figure skating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've just had it was just I struggle with images, as you know, but I just had this sort of
those little white ice skates, the white ones. And they're going, there's a man.
How do you know? She's got size 13 skates.
That doesn't matter. She's got a size 13 skate. But they're going, but I've just heard him talking to someone on the phone saying this is the easiest scam I ever did. I don't really identify as a woman.
It's caught on CCTV.
And he doesn't. So they go, do you identify as a man or a woman?
Go on.
Bobby Cup.
Hold on, thanks. Just out of curiosity. Bobby Cup. Just out of curiosity, have you got, and be honest here, have you got a cup next to you?
It's a trophy cup. So, so Bobby's a either way name. Bobby's not the gendered name, I don't think. So the Bobby Cup, and he goes, I just couldn't win in my college, so I've come here and pretended I identify as a woman, but I don't. But it shouldn't matter because I'm an athlete. And they go, that's true. and they let him wrestle in the final of the women's wrestling, and he loses. Yeah, it is. But it's about like, what does he? That's what is that's the ambiguity that people would say, though, isn't it? That you can just identify, like someone could just say that. Not that they do. Well, do you know what I mean?
Well, and so this is.
So he's abusing. This man is abusing that system, and if it wasn't the fault in the humans and the system, it's not the fault in the system. It's the fault in the humans. That's what I'm saying.
You got any stars for it?
Amber Heard. I don't know. Well, I just looked over and saw that Amber Heard.
Ginger Evans says this has hints of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yeah. Well, God, yes. Have you seen that? When they start throwing
not
out.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's got a lot of stuff in his films that's. No, I love Jim Carrey. I want to point out I love Jim Carrey, but I watched Bruce Almighty the other day. There's some stuff in that which is unacceptable. There's the stuff.
Yeah, does he like make people's pinkies come out?
He grows people's boobs. He looks up people's skirts. Dumb and Dumber. There's someone
gets raped. A male rape scene. I watched it with my kids. I thought, this is really funny. And then he's in the toilet cubicle, and the sea bass, the big guy, comes in and
unpleasant.
I'm like,
and then Ace Ventura. There's some pretty ropey stuff in there as well. So Amber Heard, and who is the main chap?
Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah.
And is he playing? Because Michael Cera often plays himself, that sort of character, doesn't he?
So this is the thing. So before he's about to go into the final, he's on the phone to his mate going, "This is the greatest scam ever. I just told him all I identify as a woman. I don't at all." And like his competitor overhears him, records it. They go out, and because it's like Hollywood, this is quite a big budget film. They're playing like a sort of like promo, like they do at UFC in that, when they sort of like, and she sort of like his opponent kind of like hacks it, and instead of playing his sort of like composed intro, it plays him on the phone admitting that he doesn't really
on the jumbotron.
On the jumbotron.
I'm gonna beat you anyway, says Amber Heard.
Yeah, and Amber Heard says, "I'm gonna beat you anyway."
Love it.
And then I'm gonna write an op-ed saying that you beat me.
Lovely. Tagline.
Competition knows no gender.
Quite on the nose again.
That was written by the nun who wrote that tagline. Well, after she escaped, and they got her to write a screenplay about her experience. They said, "You're quite good at this. You should actually come and work in Hollywood as a tagline writer."
Right, so now, Justin, let's go and look. I think I clicked save on all of the films. Let's go and see what your films were. I definitely missed one of them. So you had Heat Tomorrow, Justin, in summary. Yeah. Heat Tomorrow, Warm Today was the tagline. Famously, that was a lovely one about the human.
Yeah, that was a nice little ease in, wasn't it?
Business. Crusade Nation, Space Vikings was its alternate title. Set in 3011, B movie. Then we had Way of the Casio.
That was my favourite.
Was a lovely bit of business. Mission Escape was the nuns. I really enjoyed Mission Escape. And then we had Sport Lies. Right. What I want from you now is I want you to pick one of these movies, Justin. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to go on this website which creates a piece of art. Have you heard of such a thing?
Okay.
So it will create a random piece of art. So if you pick one of those films, I will then give you different styles, and then I will create a randomized piece of art for this to be the poster of this film.
So is the art random?
It's based on the words, but it is a computer algorithm.
Oh, right. So I'm gonna pick the one that I think the words.
Okay.
I'm going to go Sport Lies. It wasn't my favourite film, but I think that might make the most interesting art because of the two words involved.
Right. So here you go. Styles you have are love. I'm going to use the word Ghibli, which is like what Yanis said earlier. Ghibli. Death. Surreal. Robots. No style.
No.
Dark fantasy. Mystical. Baroque. Etching. Salvador Dali. Word that's German that's like watercolor, I think that is in English. Provenance, Moonwalker, Blacklight, Rose Gold, Steampunk, Fantasy Art, Vibrant, HD, Psychic, Psychedelic, Synthwave, or Yukio.
Death.
Straight up to death. Right, now we go over to the piece of art being created. It's being created by Wombo Art. So here we go. Can you see that, Justin? I'm going to click on it now. This is going to be the poster for Sport Lies. We are creating our art.
That's it.
It is creating. Oh, hang on.
Oh, it's like a
I like
newspaper.
That. Let's have a look. Can we zoom in on that? I don't know how to.
Yeah, no, that's good. That works, sort of. It's in the news. It's in the news at the moment.
Look, there's some fighting going on there, like they're boxing.
Yeah, but the subjects within the photos are coming out, so it's coming off the page. So these aren't just topics and hypothetical situations. These are real people involved, Ash, with lives, and they're wrestling.
Yeah, look at wrestling there. Definite wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling. Yeah, if we tidied up a bit and made that wrestling,
yeah, it's a great start point. Like if I'm putting that down on the table,
yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, and finally, Justin, just as a little thank you for being on the show today, let's make a Justin Panks randomised piece of art. What style would you like? You can see the different styles here. I won't go through them all again.
Baroque.
Down the bottom was that, wasn't it? I saw Baroque.
He's towards the end. That's why I remembered it. I just looked around and saw a Baroque.
You saw a Baroque.
I saw a tube of a Baroque, yeah.
Here we go. So this is for Justin Panks.
You're going to print it out? Oh, yeah.
Here it comes. Oh, my God.
That's a bit like me.
Does.
That looks a bit like El Topo.
Who's El Topo?
It's Alexander Jorodowski, Argentinian spaghetti western.
Look at that. Justin Panks. Well, that's me. There we go. Justin, thank you so much for being the first
That's good.
ever guest on I'd Watch That. Everyone, thank you for watching.
Can I ask you a
question you want, mate?
You go to a multiplex. You go to a multiplex, and was there 6 films? I did 5?
You did 6 films, yeah.
6 films on, and the woman goes, "Oh, it all starting in 5 minutes." Which one do you go to?
Honestly, Heat tomorrow. That's the truth.
The first one. Yeah, no, okay. I think there was something in that.
But the best
one
of it. The best one is The Way of the Casio. Without a question, I want to make Way of the Casio. I'm all over Way of the Casio. I loved it.
But you couldn't make Heat tomorrow, and that's why you'd go
there
and learn
that we should
something.
put something in writing and write something down for some sort of way of us making Heat Casio. Not Heat Casio.
Imagine if we made a film called
Way of the Casio.
Way of the Casio. We made a film called Wedding, and you know at the end when they show outtakes, in the post credits we just played this. How weird would that? You could actually go and see the genesis of the. That would be like seeing your parents conceive.
That was my favourite. I think we could make that. And realistically, we've been talking about writing some sort of.
That was the
We've
most.
been talking about writing some sort of radio play for some time, and I think we've just found our first one.
We have, haven't we?
Well.
Oh yeah, you did come up with the 2 random words. To be fair to you, you did all the heavy lifting. Someone else did.
Listener, Thank you, viewer. Thank you for being there. If anyone's got anything to say, now is your time to say it before we wrap up the show. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being there for the first ever one. What was your favourite? Before we go, let's ask the viewer. What was your favourite of those films? Very interested to know. So let's just recap the ones you had. You had Heat tomorrow, warm today.
Yeah, lo-fi, sort of like a quirky.
Yeah. We had Crusade Nation.
Sort of thing like that's a Sharknado type thing. That one. That is meant to be bad.
Way of the Casio.
Yeah, that's formula, but funny. I think I've watched one like with Will Ferrell and it was about Eurovision. I just realised it was exactly
it's
like
great,
that.
Though. That's fine. I mean, it probably made millions, that film.
Yeah, but I think the Casio bloke saying you can be the demo button is that was the twist.
It's an absolutely beautiful moment.
And of its time.
Very, very beautiful. Mission Escape was the nuns one in Africa. I love that.
That was a bit, yeah. That's good. That had that good scene. That's one of those films that, like the Crying Game. It's got that one memorable scene when she's describing that you shouldn't have trod on that crucifix.
There's only so much crap we'll take. There's only so much crap we'll take.
That's when she broke.
And Spotlight. Cop Lethal was a British film with
Cop
Charlie
Lethal was
from
tough.
Casualty. I don't know where that came from you. It's unbelievable.
I don't know anything that came from.
And Spotlight, which is a story about a fake trans athlete.
But then the ringer was made. So yeah. With Johnny Knoxville, it's basically that. If that, it's about abuse of a system.
Well, you know what? Looking at the comments coming in, Yanis says, "Is it made millions a sign of quality?" Yes, it's the only thing you can judge it on, isn't it?
We just want to make millions.
Like, it is a sign of quality, isn't it? Like, if you're literally, lots of people go and watch it.
Well, yeah, but that is pretty much the opposite of when I was bemoaning the blockbuster. But yeah, no, it's a
good way of checking whether something.
It's a benchmark of living well. I mean, I'm hand to mouth. It'd be so nice to live fork to mouth. I don't know how rich people live.
And they...
Mouth to mouth,
like a bird.
Yeah. Like
so
a pelican.
We have got a vote for Crusade Nation. Ginger Elvis says Way of the Casio. Ash Flaps says Mission Escape. And Mr. Frog Show said Cop Lethal. And Skunkerbell has just written the word arse to mouth. So just bringing it down again there, Yanis.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I think that's a success because looking at the comments, there's a spread. There's a spread across there.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
That's great. Right, that is it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for being there, Justin. Massively appreciated.
Yeah, always. Man.
Yeah,
always,
probably
man,
will be always. See you in a couple of weeks. Thank you, viewer, for being there for the first one. Please get in touch with me at Ash Frith on Twitter and let me know what you want to see, questions you want me to ask, anything you want to change. This is still very new. I'm fully aware that things will change. There'll be different things that happen, I'm sure. Let me know what you think needs to change. Thank you very much for being there. And the final word from Justin. Is that a fart ninja, Justin?
Oh, you can't edit it. It's a fart ninja.
How
do you know that?
Them in shops.
Yeah, I've got two of them. They're not mine. Yeah, thanks
see you later,
listeners.
Justin, if they want, they just come and see you, can't they? You're not on social media, really.
No, I've come off it all. But come see me live.
I should say that. We're doing a show. We're doing shows together. We're in Ipswich on July the 7th? July 10th, we're in Ipswich. July the...
No.
Mate.
July the 10th.
July the 10th, we're in Ipswich doing shows back to back. Your show is called... And my show is called Hand Cooked. And we are also in Southend, and there's going to be more coming soon. Cambridge, probably. Thank you all for being there. We love you. See you soon.